Good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Ajay Shah, bringing this another Facebook Live. Today's topic is how to live up to age 110, healthy, happy, and vibrant. I've done three segments on the same subject, so please watch those three segments on YouTube. I've been also doing a series on weight loss, and there are 14 segments on YouTube. So please watch them. Segment one is been watched now almost 170 times. So please watch segment one and start watching all segments on weight loss. I've done, I believe, three segments on depression also. So please watch those segments on depression. Last week I did a series on high blood pressure. So if you or your loved one suffer from high blood pressure, please watch the high blood pressure series also. So let's start segment four on how to live age 110 healthy, happy, and vibrant. Let me repeat what I said in my segment one. Having a purpose is number one predictor of living long. Having a purpose. I explained that in segment one, but I'm repeating that having a purpose is number one predictor of how long you will live. So always have a purpose in life. The purpose could be as simple as seeing a great grandkids graduation, seeing a 75th wedding anniversary with your wife, running a marathon, writing a book, graduating from your college, whatever your purpose is. When you have a purpose, you have a mission, you have goals, and then actions follow, and you live long. So always have a purpose. Also, another important predictor of longevity is social connections. I cannot stress enough of having a spouse, having family, having kids, having parents, having in-laws, having brother, sister, having close friends, and even having community and seeing the whole world as a social connection. So let me repeat, social connection is the second most important predictor of longevity. Many people think that it's healthy eating, it's exercise, it's sleep, it's health, it's prevention of chronic disease, but those things are important, but those things are probably not the top two or three predictor. Number one predictor of longevity is having a purpose. Number two predictor of having longevity is having a healthy social connections, having friends, having family, having spouse who actually are even-minded, who all want to be healthy, who all want to live long, who all want to have healthy fun. So have social connections. Now let's go back to number 31. Number 31 is having albumin of 4.8 or higher. Albumin is the protein which is in the blood. Albumin is made by liver, and higher the albumin, healthier you are. Obviously, there is a tight range, but albumin anywhere around 4.8 to 5.2 is a sign of healthy liver, and that actually predicts the longevity. There is a formula by Morgan Levine. Morgan Levine, she's from Yale, and she has a formula where it predicts your biologic age. And albumin is one of the 9 factors of predicting your biologic age. So having albumin 4.8 to 5.2, around 5.5, is a predictor of longevity. Next number 32, is daily vitamin B12. Whether you are whole food, plant-based, vegan, or even if you are a meat eater, taking vitamin B12 supplement is very important. As American and pretty much throughout the world, a lot of people are vitamin B12 deficient. We used to get vitamin B12 from soil and bacteria, but now with all the sanitation and all the use of pesticides and other things, we don't get that much vitamin B12 from a natural sources. So we need to take B12 supplement. Try to keep your B12 level above 500. So again, B12 supplement, either you can take it daily in your multivitamin, or you can take a separate B12 supplement. I take a 5,000 microgram once a week B12 supplement. My B12 level runs anywhere from 6 to 700. Anywhere above 500 is adequate. Next thing is taking daily multivitamin. Uh, Even if you eat whole food, plant-based, no oil diet, many times absorption is an issue. And I personally take a daily multivitamin with iodine, because we don't eat any salt, and most iodine comes from the iodized salt. So I take a multivitamin with with folic acid, B12, different minerals, different B complex vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, multivitamin with the iodine built in there. So I take multivitamin with iodine every day. Next number 36 is taking vitamin D every day. Either you can take 1 to 2,000 units every day, or you can take 10,000 units every week, or you can take 50,000 units once a month. Try to keep your vitamin D level 50 to 70. My last vitamin D level was 72. I keep it always above 50. If you are exposed to sunlight 15 to 30 minutes, maybe you don't need vitamin D supplement, but most of us living in North America are vitamin D deficient, and we should be taking vitamin D supplement. Next thing is going back to healthy eating. Healthy eating is one of the important predictor of longevity. People who eat 1 pound of raw vegetables, 1 pound of raw vegetables, particularly cruciferous vegetables and all other green non-starchy vegetables, is very important. Also eating 1 pound of cooked vegetables, all different kind of cooked vegetables, obviously cooked in the water or cooked in a vegetable broth and not using any oil. Also having 5 to 7 servings of fruit predicts the longevity. 5 to 7 servings of fruit. Also having some form of beans, lentils, or legumes with every meal, and having about 1 pound of beans, legumes, or lentils per day will also help you to live long, will help you to live up to 110. Uh, Next thing is eating only intact grains. That means avoiding white rice, avoiding white flour, avoiding any kind of white bread, avoiding those things, and having only intact grains like quinoa, oat groats, still cut oats, millet, brown rice, black rice, and many other intact grains will make you live long. Um, Next thing is, and that's number 42, is having a low saturated fat in the diet. Saturated fat has been linked to having heart disease, stroke, vascular dementia, many other vascular disease, including peripheral arterial disease. And keeping saturated fat low in your diet, typically less than 10 gram per day, would also prevent many of the vascular disease, including dementia. So having low saturated fat in your diet will help you to live long. Next thing is the formula by Dr. Joe Furman, and that's G bombs. That's a green cruciferous vegetables, berries, onions, mushrooms, uh, beans, and seeds. So having daily G bombs formula, I want you to look up by Dr. Joe Furman, It to Live book, and many of his lectures. He highly promotes everyday consumption of G bombs, which is again green vegetables, particularly cruciferous vegetables, berries, onions, cooked mushrooms, beans, and different kind of seeds. All those will give you a healthy combination of whole food plant-based diet, and that will definitely make you live up to age 110. Having a decaffeinated green tea 3 to 4 times a day and avoiding any kind of coffee or caffeine will also help you to live long. At our house, we have a decaffeinated tea. We make it with a soy milk. We don't use dairy anymore. We have it 2 or 3 times a day, uh, and we actually enjoy green tea in a soy milk. Uh, I also have a decaf coffee at home. Once in a while, I will have a decaf coffee. I try to avoid regular coffee as much as possible. I will have a separate video on pros and cons of coffee itself, including its effects on cholesterol, including its possible beneficial effects on diabetes, Parkinson's disease, dementia, depression. So I will have a separate talk on coffee, but in an ideal way, green tea is always better than a coffee. Next thing is number 30, number 45 is preventing advanced and glycation products. Preventing advanced and glycation products. Advanced and glycation products are the products when sugar and amino acid, so essentially sugar and protein combine and form this products which are shown, which have been proven to cause premature aging, heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, wrinkles, cataracts. So try to prevent AEG formation as much as possible. When you cook at a high temperature, when you cook at a high temperature, particularly when you grill, when you cook in an oven, 400 degree or higher, if you barbecue, and that's when a lot of advanced and glycation products happen, and that should be avoided as much as possible. Once in a while, if you have high temperature cooking, I understand, but that should not be a habit of eating high temperature cooking, particularly when you have animal products like steak, many other meat cooked at a high temperature, particularly with any kind of sugary coating on it. That's when the maximum AEG form, and that can cause premature aging. So avoid advanced end glycation products. You can watch videos on advanced end glycation products on YouTube. You can read about it. You can Google it. Very important to understand that high temperature cooking is not healthy. Uh, Next thing is very important, and that's about avoiding processed food as much as possible. Americans eat 65% calories from processed food. That means chips and cookies and candies and protein bars and protein powders. All those things are, and cereals, and all those things are processed food, and that should be avoided as much as possible. If you want to leave 110, try to have absolutely no processed food. Your kitchen, your pantry, your cabinets, your refrigerator should be devoid of any kind of processed food. When you go out to grocery shopping, try not to buy any processed food. America actually lives on processed food. Like I said, 65% of calories come from processed food. That should be avoided as much as possible. Next is number 47 is a concept of caloric restriction. Caloric restriction is in its own science. It's been proven for almost 100 years that animals, even the worms, even some of the bacteria and yeast, when they are caloric restricted, they live 30 to 40% longer. Even in humans, even in monkeys, it's been proven that when calorie restriction is made, many of the chronic disease don't happen and lifespan is increased. Calorie restriction doesn't mean that you starve yourself. It means only cutting about 300 to 500 calories. Sometimes the data in humans is difficult to obtain because it will require 40, 50 years of studying, which is not being done yet. But at the same time, if you look at some of the communities, particularly, for example, in Okinawa, the blue zone community of the world in Okinawa, Okinawan people had calorie restriction for hundreds of years, and they lived very long, they lived very healthy. So calorie restriction has been seen in many world communities. For Americans, that means eating anywhere between 1,800 and 2,000 calories. Right now, average American women eats about 2,500 calories to 2,700 calories. Average American man eats about 2,800 to 3,000 calories. If American woman cuts down to about 1,800, 2,000 calorie, if American man cuts down to about 21, 2,200 calorie, that will be considered caloric restriction. Many of the chronic disease will be prevented, including obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and definitely that will further help into living up to 110 years old. So read about caloric restriction. There are a lot of YouTube videos. There are a lot of books on caloric restriction. There are many talks. Google caloric restriction, but try to follow caloric restriction as much as possible. Number 48 is intermittent fasting. I have a separate video on intermittent fasting on YouTube, so please watch it. Intermittent fasting means eating within 8 to 12-hour window within a day. So I try to eat within 8 hours. If you can have a no food 16 hours a day, that would be considered intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting has shown to cause longevity, prevention of diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, many other disease. Also, try not to eat 4 hours before you go to sleep. So last meal should be between 5 and 7 p.m. if you're going between 10 and 11 p.m. to the sleep. So avoid late night eating and try to follow intermittent fasting. Please watch my video on intermittent fasting. As you are watching this live, please share on your page If you think it will benefit your family and friends, please ask questions, please have comments, please have concerns, please add what you think will help to live up to age 110. There are many books written on longevity. There are many YouTube videos. There are many audio books. See what thing you think should be added to my list to live up to age 110. Again, I've done many series so far. High blood pressure series. We'll talk about high blood pressure and longevity as we go in this series. But if you or if your loved one suffer from high blood pressure, please watch the YouTube channel on high blood pressure. I've done also 14 segments on weight loss. Obesity is one of the major reasons people live less. So actually, I wanted to watch the series on weight loss also. I also done a series on depression. People who are depression, people who are lonely also live less. So please watch the series on depression also. So I'm going to stop here. I'll be bringing another live in a few hours. Have a great afternoon. I'm off today. I was off yesterday also. I'm off over the weekend. So I'll be doing a few more lives over the next 3 or 4 days. So please stay tuned. I hope you're enjoying it. Again, please comment, have questions, and I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. Have a great afternoon. If you are at work, move every hour. If you are home, move every hour. If you are home, eat healthy. If you are home, go out in the sun few minutes if sun is available. If you are home, spend few minutes with your spouse, few minutes with your family, and have the most helpful afternoon. Thank you.